Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Ivan Ilin, co-founder at iki.ai. Ivan, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Pleasure meeting you, Ludwig. Yeah, I'm good. The weather is perfect. Beginning of May. Let's talk.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Ivan, give us an overview of iki.ai and what made you start iki.ai.
I started with the second part of the question. We thought that information is organized suboptimally, and right now we have to Google a lot before you come up with some solution. And in the professional domain, people like it takes almost half of your professional time dedicated work for searching for information and trying to retrieve some relevant stuff that you need. And it's a huge waste of time. People waste up to 50% of their time for looking for stuff. And Google is now the go-to interface for information. You normally search it in Google, but it is not the optimal way because you have the number of blue links, and then you have to enter each link and try to grasp some ideas of what's inside. So it's a lot of manual work. And right now, with large language models, you can reimagine the interface to information and let the search part and the LLM do a lot of work for you and come up with ideas and solutions based on your request. And that's exactly what we do in Iki. So it's an interface to your professional knowledge. You can drop any information in different formats like PDFs, URLs, some links to YouTube videos, and we grab the full text. We transcribe YouTube videos, grab the full text, and then you can search within all this information, and you can even ask our Copilot to perform some tasks on your behalf, like an agent working for you. And I guess that's the future of professional Copilots and professional knowledge management.
Yeah, very interesting. Is who is it, who is something that is like similar to you guys that you're doing, or is there any platform that you see it's very similar to you?
Um, Perplexity is a good example
That's what
because
I was thinking. Yeah.
they're building this interface for they are solving this problem with Google, that you don't have to manually enter these blue links. You just obtain this summary of different parts of the answer from different sources, but they are more into B2C and more into general knowledge, and they don't have focus on professional knowledge, and they don't have a library to manage. There are also some open source projects, pretty good ones, that are capable of ingesting your local data and giving you this LM-powered interface, RAG interface or agentic interface. And also there are some cloud-based solutions, but I don't see any direct competitor that is working in cloud, has good interface, and has its like open index of its own data like we do. So you can not only search inside your library, you can also take advantage of the whole index that is of all the public sources that were saved to Iki. And that's a lot of professional data. So it's somehow already curated.
Yeah. Are we experiencing another a rise of the SEOs back in the days? I remember it was a Dogpile, Alta Vista. Are we experiencing the same thing with now with the AI behind kind of a search engine? What are your
Uh,
thoughts?
I think it's
Or where is this going, perhaps? Maybe.
um, I wouldn't compare it with SEO because it's more the SEO part for me is more related to the problem of generated content, because obviously there's going to be more and more of that, and it will harm the search engines. Um, there's going to be some. I'm pretty sure that later this year there'll be some models that are um, focused on filtering the generated content that is secondary, that is not like the original one. And I'm pretty sure it's already done inside good search engines. But so we also have this PageRank and so on. I see LLMs as a new interface to information because they can transform it based on your query. So before, that's the major thing. It's paradigm shift. Before, you needed some human expert that would ingest some information, gain some knowledge, and then based on your query, your question, your case, it will provide you with a solution uh, because it will process this information with its reasoning capabilities of a human and then give you the solution. Right now, you can the state of art large language models, probably you've all seen the OpenAI demo, they are as capable as a human almost, and then they can perform this transformation on your behalf. And that untaps huge possibilities of automating different professional workflows. And that's where we are.
Now, Ivan, what inspires you um, to continue innovating, and what role do you believe innovation plays in driving growth?
Again, the second part of the question is easier because I think that having access to information was one of the limits in our growth. And right now, if you can solve your professional tasks faster, so you spend less time on research and move faster a bit, it generally accelerates us. So this affectionate accelerate, it's a hard word to pronounce. So yeah, this philosophy, it really makes sense in terms of what we're doing because we really accelerate this information sharing. And for me, the important thing is why I'm motivated to build Iki, because we are on a frontier of applying current research to people's needs, and I think it's one of the crucial innovations of the century, I would say. I mean, not exactly what I'm doing, but in general, this year and these years in AI expansion to mainstream products.
Yeah.
Say it's the new era of web products, actually.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, obviously, you got to try multiple times until you nail it, and that requires willingness to fail, um, to try new things. What is your approach to failure and when you try new things?
Yeah, that's philosophy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's pretty simple. I could stay in a corporate world where you can just earn money and mm, you're responsible for some part, but you cannot realize your ideas to full extent. I mean, bring them to reality. And for me, trying to do, there's some idea that sits in your mind, and you're thinking of it when you're walking, when you're sometimes when you're sleeping, you have some dreams, and it just doesn't give you it doesn't leave you. You have it inside, and then you have to make a decision. Either you're pursuing it or you're giving it up, or and choosing some comfort zone. For me, it was absolutely obvious. I have to try, and I did it a few times already, so I know what's failure, and it just gives you a lot of very good experience, way more valuable, I would say, that than just living in your comfort zone because the experience there is pretty limited.
Mhm.
That's important for me.
So just going and getting that salary gets you comfortable and gets you fat, and doesn't keep you motivated, right? I bet there's a lot of people are like that, and they're also very disengaged in terms of what they do. So they just go to work without really realizing what is their why. Uh, but having that why for some people is very hard to get to that. And for some people, it's easier. I guess as an entrepreneur, it is very important to get that right. Um, is that the case for you?
Yeah, I define myself. So I had this question: what is my core feature? I would say as a human being, I think I'm very curious and have a researcher mindset. So I have a PhD in applied mathematics before because I like research. I like discovering new things and trying new things. And this mindset doesn't give you an option to just settle with what you have, with what you have. And so it's just the way of living. I value it the most. The freedom is the most important thing for me, and the freedom to execute what I think needs being executed, and trying the things I think worth being tried. So that's just the way of living. Otherwise, you can settle with what you have, but you won't be discovering new stuff, and that's the core value for me, discovering
Yeah.
new things.
I mean, it's also like the way like how people define freedom. What is a definition of freedom to you? Like when you say freedom, what do you mean by that?
For me, freedom is the ability to do what you like, what you find valuable, important, and you obviously you need to have some financial freedom in order to have this time to work on what you find important, and that's pretty much it. So you are not free when you have some limitations that not let you live this way. So
Yeah.
it's just the comfort, the inner comfort of how you perceive your life. Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with the course, or you are settling with some comfortable decisions, or trying to escape um, some like trying to limit your responsibility for something.
Yeah.
It's definitely the comfort zone.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are compromising um, left and right, and one of the biggest ones is the compromising in with the based on the finances, right? And so they make the finances a priority, then they ended up being miserable at work, being miserable at home, getting divorced, and the list goes on of that all that negativity that people go through it. Um, I always look at this as as an opportunity for every individual to come back to the come back to the basics and just ask a very direct question. And the best way is just to start keep asking why and why and why, because a lot of times we think like, okay, well, we want to have a freedom. Then the question is like, why do you want to have a freedom, right? And then, well, I want to have a freedom because I want to travel. So then, why do you want to travel? And the list goes on. And at one point, people can realize that, okay, well, they don't need the certain things. How do you see this with your team, Ivan? Like building what you're building. Obviously, you're in something that you're this just age of this AI that is completely sweeping the entire um, technology sector. How are you seeing this with your team? Like, are they aligned? I truly believe that in this day and age, alignment is more important than assignment. How do you bring this team aligned with what are you doing with your company?
I think that there are two things I would like to mention. Speaking of the team, it's really important to um, dive into this Maslow pyramid and understand what motivates your team, what are their desires, what are their ambitions, and then allow them to cover these and to achieve their goals inside your company. For example, I work a lot with research focused guys, and their ambition is to produce some world-class research, and you have to give them time to do that besides production. Um, sometimes engineers just want to learn a lot, and that's also a thing you should provide within your corporate culture. Um, for me, that's a very good question. For me, leadership is about letting people know, making them sure that you can bring all of you to success. And this success would mean not just financial success, but their inner drivers will be, um, kind of covered. So
Mm.
uh, their ambition will be satisfied while they move to your common goal. And then you were speaking, the other part of your speech was about how do you balance this? And I cannot say a startup journey is about having a good balance, because sometimes you definitely have to sacrifice your financial freedom a bit. So you're probably gonna spend a lot of your savings, and probably you are gonna like live a few years without corporate salary, and that's negative cash flow. And then probably you will sacrifice some part of your relations, because not all the partners would like to go through this hard way with you. That's also a choice. So that's a number of choices that you make. And the good part is being young, because being older is harder to sacrifice things, I guess.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Now, what emerging technologies or trends are you most excited about, Ivan?
Agents for sure. So as I see it now, we have search almost solved. There are some places for innovation, but it's like the last 3-5% of quality that can be gained. The LLMs are super good today, so we like normally, I think for an average person, large language models have overcome the expectations a lot by today. So the reasoning abilities are super high, and they're getting even higher. That's why I think the RAG part, retrieval augmented generation, is pretty much solved. And right now, the emerging thing are the agents which are capable of making decisions in a loop, and reflecting on their decisions and optimizing. And eventually, right now the sequences do work, but they work, they produce some relevant results, but normally you cannot use these results immediately. Their quality is worse than a human work would be. But I think within a year, the systems will evolve to such a point that the quality of this pipeline will be very much like 80 to 90% of what human can produce. And that's going to be the changing point.
Mm.
So a lot of enterprises will incorporate these agentic frameworks and agentic pipelines in order to automate a lot of daily work. I think it's not going to happen in one day. It's going to be a process through years, but that's where we're going. And I wonder what the labor market will be after that, because a lot of office jobs will be augmented. In a soft scenario, they'll be augmented by AI, and probably there are going to be more cuts, and people will have to learn. Like it's lifelong education right now. The paradigm of lifelong learning, it's lifelong learning is already here. That's the reason why we created Iki, because the first concept was just to facilitate this continuous learning by professionals, because technologies change and we need to update our knowledge on a monthly basis, not even yearly, especially if you're working in technology sector like we do. So I guess these are the major trends, and the problem is that human cycle is not really adapted to such rapid speed of changes, and there's going to be a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety in population due to these acceleration factors.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Well, exciting but also scary times ahead of us. Now, Ivan, what does a word bold mean to you?
bold is someone courageous enough to keep his freedom and pursue his dreams, I would say.
I like that. That's really good. Well, Ivan, always be bold. Congrats on all your achievements. Thank you for joining me in this Bold Talk series, and look forward to seeing you again soon. All the best. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always.
Thank you so much, Epi. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Ivan. Cheers.
Cheers.